we're doing it.
The birth video.
The birth video, da da
Da, da,
da,
da.
where I spent 72 hours in labor. Luke is here to fact check me and just like remind me because it's been a while. It might be a messy storytelling thing or messy story time.
Yeah, you tell the story and I'll fact check.
Okay.
Tell the story for you.
Yes. So it all started, I think it was May 23rd. So Kyra was born May 26th. So this was 3 days before Kyra was born. That's when it all started. So the few weeks before that, I remember I was contracting here and there, but they said that was normal. It was like a Braxton Hicks situation. I spent a lot of time at home alone because Luke had a lot of like business stuff to deal with.
Makes me sad.
No, it was okay. I mean, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, I would have these Braxton Hicks and be like, wait. And then it goes away and I'm like, okay. So there was one day when...
Do they know what Braxton Hicks is?
I don't know.
Sounds like a person.
Braxton Hicks are basically false contractions. And I guess they're preparing you for labor. Basically what I knew is that they're just false contractions and they can scare you into thinking that you're gonna be in labor. It was one night I was alone and I felt them and I was like, okay, they're gonna go away. And they didn't go away. So I kept checking like my underwear or whatever to see if like and my watch is broken. Cause yeah, I mean I don't know what to expect. I was like, I don't know if it just like pops. I was getting ready with all my panty liner stuff. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. So I told Luke to come home.
In the movies, they make it seem like you just start like gushing water.
Yeah, literally.
It's so weird.
It's just, yeah, I don't think it happens. It definitely doesn't. But you know, I didn't even break my water for a while too. So the contractions kept coming. So we called the midwife and she told me to time my contractions and see how far along they are. And we were like, okay.
How far apart they are from each other.
How far apart they are from each other. And they were like a good what, like 5 minutes? Yeah, it would go from like 10 to 5, then back to 10 to 5. I was like, I kind of think maybe it might be I don't know, I was anxious. I was like, I feel like it's labor. She's like, ma'am, if you can talk through the phone, you're not in labor yet. I was just like, yikes, okay. Then she was like, but it's concerning that you're having them so close together. Why don't you come in? Just in the car, finally got in. It's actually not as bad. I think I'm also second guessing myself. I'm like, I don't know if this is supposed to be it because it gets intense when they come, but when they're not there, it's like nothing's happening, you know? So I don't know what they're gonna say at the birth center. I mean, I timed my contractions and they said I should get ready to go. So yeah, honestly, feeling good. I'm excited. I just need energy. So we go in there, they check my cervix, and it's at a good 2 centimeters, which is like nothing. You know, it's supposed to go all the way until 10, but it was just 2. So they tell me I'm not ready. I'm like, what? They're like, you know, like we just can't admit you until you're like at least at like a 4. I'm like, okay. So I go back home with me. I was on my ball. I was literally just rolling around for hours and hours and hours. The pain wasn't intensifying, which was good, but it was still there. And I kept feeling like this like pressure right down here. So of course my goal is just like, yo, I just need to get to that 4. So they can just get me admitted. And then they check my cervix again after I go that same day that they told me, I guess. Or the second day. I don't know. Everything's so blurry. But I go and they check my cervix and it's at a 2.5. After all that like pain.
I remember that. We expected it to be so much more.
I know. I was like, what? I was so focused on having it be like a natural birth that I kept thinking I just need the strength to kind of do this. So I need to sleep because I haven't slept in like a day and a half now. So they give me a shot. I think they give me 2, right? Do they give me that shot once or I go back for the second time?
I think you got it twice. Yeah.
I think I got that shot twice.
Kind of.
So the first night I got the shot, and it was this shot apparently supposed to help me relax or sleep. But do you remember what she said? She said, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna sleep, but I'm gonna feel like I'm out of my body or something. She said something trippy. Like that. I was like, what? Okay, do I wanna? She's like, you're gonna get into like a lucid state, and you're not gonna sleep, but at least you're gonna be relaxed. But you're gonna be awake and understand
that shit
everything.
Was a trip. I remember what you're talking about.
I'm like, what?
Because you were getting exhausted. It had been like 2 days.
Yeah,
and you couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
That was the craziest part.
So I go into bed. Of course, I'm still contracting. It's not as bad, I guess. It like kind of leveled out. But I remember sleeping, and I could hear exactly what you were doing. Like I could hear when you were in the kitchen. I could hear where you were in. It was like the weirdest state. That was, so weird. It was just so drug induced. It was crazy. Of course, I'm just praying that I'll be able to give birth the next day in a couple of hours. So we wait, same thing happens. I'm not ready yet. I'm still contracting pretty much all day. They give me another one of those weird shots that made me feel like I was just like drugged. And then I think the next day something was actually happening. Like the contractions went from being like a 3 constantly to being like a 4 to a 5. Like I genuinely now couldn't talk. I couldn't talk at all. I was like making so much noise. And even those other days I couldn't sleep, and I don't know how you slept through me like literally like groaning the whole night.
I was exhausted.
You were exhausted. Why are you asleep? Why are you asleep?
Can't do anything else.
So I'm basically like the whole entire night. And I'm so exhausted, and I'm like, no, it has to be today. So they check my cervix, finally at a 4.5. Finally.
What's the number you have to get to again?
4.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, oh, you're in. Like, ah, like, do you have your stuff? Of course, we had our stuff in the car for like freaking 2 days, so we were ready. The room was amazing. I mean, so comfortable.
So nice.
So nice. Like a full double-sized bed. They had an option. It's a birth center, so basically you kind of control how the birth goes because we really wanted to do it naturally. And there was a pool, there was a shower.
Had essential oils.
I had essential oils.
Bluetooth speaker.
We had lo-fi beats.
Yeah. Like those did anything.
They did not do anything.
I know. They got annoying. We're like, just turn that shit off.
I know. So I think the most comfortable place for me was definitely the shower. And between the tub. Remember how I would just go in between? Like a maniac?
Yeah, that was your safe place.
I literally didn't care if I was wet. I was like getting out of the tub, getting into the shower, getting back into the tub. Yeah, I was just like whatever I can do to distract myself from the pain. So I think that's what was getting me the most, because I kept feeling like when it does come to the time to like push, I don't know whether I'll have it in me. Luke and I weren't really for doing it in the hospital. Like we just wanted to do it there. It was just comfortable for us. It was just
much nicer.
It was just, yeah, it was nicer. It was not as intense. By the way, this was all pandemic peak.
Yeah.
Like peak pandemic. Like I remember going through the streets and there was no car, no nothing. Yeah, so basically the nurses kept coming and checking my cervix. They can't check it way too many times because that will just create like, I guess, bacteria, or it will interfere with the cervix in the long run, something like that. But yeah, they kept checking, and I'm telling you, the contractions were getting worse, but nothing was happening. Like nothing. Like it was just not progressing. And I just saw the look on the nurse's face, and they would just look at each other like, yeah, I think this is gonna have to be a hospital thing, because like nothing is happening. Their biggest thing was, how's the baby doing? But they kept checking him and he was fine. But I guess if labor is just too long, you can get the baby in distress, and that can turn into an emergency situation. I think I just stayed in the tub at this point, and I was just so helpless. And I just looked at Luke.
I remember that look on your face really distinctly.
I was just like, yeah, I just can't. Like, we can't wait. You know, they gave us an option to wait.
And then we couldn't wait anymore.
I just couldn't. It was just way too long.
You were just sitting there like, I just want it to be over. I just want to know.
I literally cried. Out of the whole entire 3 days, that was the period, that was the point where I just broke down in tears. I just wanted to be over, I just wanted to come out. Anyway, anyhow, whatever. Yeah, and at least there was still a chance of me doing it naturally. They just said they would have to give me Pitocin, which is basically this drug that helps increase contractions so that your cervix can open up.
Surprised you remember that name.
Oh yeah, I can't forget that name. I was like, what? Just her describing it, I was like, what? They said, so I'm like, yo, they're giving me this thing that's basically gonna make me contract like crazy, even way worse. And then I was like,
intense contractions. Like...
At first I was like, okay, I'm gonna try not do it with the epidural. And she looked at me and was like, you don't want to do that. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. We get to the hospital, basically turned into, gown. Like I said, it was or just the beginning of just like the pandemic. So the COVID tests, for anyone who experienced those first COVID tests, were the worst thing that could possibly just happen to anybody. Did you get one? I don't think you did.
No.
It was just me after all that labor. They stuck that thing all the way up. I felt it was here. It was here. I cried so hard.
You did.
I didn't even know which one to compare. Like, honestly, I was just like, I feel like that was worse than the contractions, low-key. And then they're like, all right, let's get this moving. No, they gave me the epidural first, right? Yeah, they had to give me the epidural first because they told me if I feel a Pitocin right now, I will literally scream and like knock out of like just all the pain. So I remember the old guy who was giving me the epidural.
That's what I was that old man just wobbling in with his little cart.
Because I did not get the epidural for so long. I think we checked in at like maybe like 6 p.m. and I did not get that thing until like 9. So the whole time my contractions are getting worse. They can't really give me the Pitocin yet until I get the epidural. I think I think that's how it went. And this guy, like, I'm literally like holding the nurses the whole time, being like, please give me the epidural. They're like, he's coming. I'm like, babe, where is he? I kept telling you to check on him like so many times. Yeah, but the nurses were so great. They would always update me, and yeah, they just made it so much more bearable. So this guy walks in with his little tray. He's like, all right, ma'am. Yeah. I'm like, dude! Like, hello! And the hospital was empty, like super empty too. So I was like, what's going on? Anyway, so he walks in, he's like, all right. At this point, I was so tapped. I didn't even know what to like expect. By that time, I was already delusional. I couldn't even look at that either. Yeah, so they stuck the thing through my back. Yeah, it was? It was so big. I couldn't even look at it. I couldn't.
It was like 6 inches long. But that's all I'm gonna say.
So then they're like, okay, great, we can kick in the Pitocin. I think once I got the epidural, she said, you won't feel anything, so you can sleep. Yeah, so I was like, perfect. I can't sleep. What?
You didn't sleep at all?
I tried! Yeah, but remember, I started shaking.
Oh, that was the thing. That was your reaction to the epidural.
So I had side effects.
Crazy shaky. I was like,
crazy. I was like, am I gonna die? So first of all, I started off with me feeling really cold after the epidural. I was like, whoa, it's really cold. I was like, did you guys put the AC on? I'm trying to talk to them. They're like, no, them. Mm-hmm. I think I forgot to tell you guys that while all of this was going on, they kept suspecting that Cairo was taking way too long to come out because of the position he was in. Yeah. Remember how they would, so basically, even through the birth center, they would make me put my leg all the way up in the air and like do all these weird exercises while I'm cramping. So even still, they made me, because I went with my midwife, she came with me to the hospital and she was still trying to get me to do these exercises. So here I am, like basically paralyzed waist down. She tried to get me to sleep. I slept. Then I started having the shakes. But then they started trying to get me to do these exercise ball movements while I was having the shakes. Do you remember? I was like, what's going on? I felt like my body was just, it was like shaking. I was shaking. I couldn't even talk. I was like, and then the nurse was like, oh, yeah, she's having, these are the side effects from the epidural. I'm like, what? So I'm just shaking. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel the pain anymore. That was nice.
I mean, shoot, we just waited and they kept checking back and forth. Yeah, and you were like at like 6. And
Yeah,
like 7.
7.
I don't think you ever got past 7.
I did not get past 7.
And we tried for like 12 hours.
Yeah, and in between that trying, the epidural also ran out. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they had to give it to you again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had to give it to me twice. Like, those were just hours and hours of just like stuff just happening. Oh, the epidural ran out and I felt the Pitocin, remember? I was like, yo, it's coming back. Like, it felt like there was this distant pain that just felt like a whole tornado was just coming into my body. And the old guy was so slow. And I was like, yo, like, I'm just so scared. Because they told me that contractions would be like 5 times as worse. So yeah, we went back and forth. And I think we just made a decision to, just get a C-section. Because I was not progressing. Yeah, we just didn't have a choice. Thank God Cairo was really good the whole time. Yeah, they were shocked. Yeah. They were like, because I think it becomes an emergency C-section when your baby's in distress. But he wasn't the whole entire time, which is insane.
Because he likes chaos.
He actually likes chaos. So at around 5, I was wheeled in to the theater. They gave me a ton of drugs. I told them, I was like, yo, this epidural keeps running out. So, like, you guys need to pump, like, twice as much. Or whatever anesthesia they could give me. And the guy was like, because I remember, of course, they were going to cut through me. And I remember they, like, gave me the first dose. And they kept saying, can you feel that? And I said, yes. First, I was like, no. I was like, nope, I can feel something. And that thing has been running out already. So I was like, you know what, just give me... I guess I got like a second dose. And then... And
I had to wait in the room for like an hour.
I know. I was getting prepped and Luke wasn't there and I was just so...
I'm gonna let me see
drugged
until the
out.
very end.
And then... Yeah, what happened? And then...
Then they came and grabbed me. And then I came down. And then... Yeah, I came and sat next to you. A few minutes. Yeah, they pulled him out.
They didn't pull him out easily.
No.
He was lodged in there, by the way.
Yeah, his head
super hard. Because I remember feeling like, couldn't feel the pain, but I could feel the pressure of them trying to pull. Then I remember the doctor saying, I think we need to get a vacuum. Do you remember that?
And did they get a vacuum?
No, just when they were about to get it, they like got him out.
Jeez.
My God, dude. So they finally get his head out after they were just about to get the vacuum. And his head was like... a whole cone. It was like an... And then you said, oh, baby has your head.
He does. He has your forehead.
That wasn't... He looked like an alien. He was literally lodged into my cervix for hours.
Days.
It was just such an emotional moment.
He's so small.
So small.
Wee.
Oh, yeah. He was crying.
That's really how he cried. Wee. He's so tiny.
I was wheeled out and then they just came with him and pretty much just put him on my chest. I couldn't move my arms. I was so like, I was just numb. And I remember he kept crying right before they put him on my chest and immediately they put him. He just like stopped crying instantly.
Yeah,
and like that made me, like it was just such an emotional moment. I think I was like, wow, it's really happening. He's really here. Yeah.
That was wild. By that time it was like 6:30.
Yeah, it was 6:30 in the morning.
I literally didn't sleep for like 4 days.
No. I don't even know how to end this video. I'm like caught up in my feelings now. I haven't thought about that day in so long.
I know.
But yeah. Now we're parents of one. And yeah, of course, he's been like the biggest blessing. And yeah, that day, as much as it was so exhausting, it was for sure just worth it.
I mean, it was harder for you. I can't even speak on that.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, thanks you guys for watching. And yeah, Luke will end this video.
How do I end the video?
Okay. Okay, bye!
Hit the red button.